Ultimately, we don't want to break the horse. We want to make them confident in themselves and in us as their partner. And a confident horse who trusts you is going to be a million times better than any horse trained by fear, no matter what. Because there's always going to be something scarier than you. But if they trust you, then when they get scared, they're going to look to you for guidance, and that's the goal. Hey guys, so today I wanted to show you a live session so you can kind of see the process in real time. When I'm cutting clips and explaining, it kind of can seem like things are going faster than they are. So I wanted to take today and show you a live session. As you can see, Sundancer is pretty apt to approach me, which is great. He knows what this bag means. And I wanted to walk you guys through some of the facial expressions and things like that that I'm looking for in real time. Here I'm being careful not to make eye contact. If you are facing the horse head on, it can be a little bit intimidating, so I always make sure that I am side to him in the beginning of the session. He's been learning that if he touches my hand, he gets a handful of hay. And this is how we're going to start introducing touch. Slowly but surely, he's touching me with his nose, and then we're going to gently work up to me touching him on his face and his body from there. Just like that. Now, I think this would be a good time for me to go over the fundamentals of clicker training, since essentially that's what I'm already starting on by asking him to target my hand. As soon as he touches me, I click, and that's immediately followed by the hay reward. I like hay in the beginning with the wild mustangs because they aren't really sure what treats are, and nor are they going to be comfortable eating directly out of your hand in most cases. So, back to clicker training. The click marks, yes, that's the behavior that I want right there. And then it's promptly followed by a reward, which motivates the horse to try and find the right answer the next time you ask them to do something. I've also been shaping him coming towards me and rewarding that behavior as well. Please note that if you have a pushy type Mustang, you do not want to reward them for coming towards you necessarily. You can, but you have to be careful that you don't create a pushy behavior. That was very good. Now, if at any point this horse shows me a stress signal like he just did, I'm going to take a step back. Stress signals include turning the head and eyes and looking away from you, throwing their head up in the air, becoming stiff. If their ears are still and their eyes are not blinking, those are all indicators that the horse is feeling stressed. And if we recognize these stress indicators and move out of the horse's space when we see them, the horse learns that we respect its boundaries and that we're here to be their friend and bring positive things like hay and fun rides and fun walks in the future, and that we're not there to harm them in any way. I'm going to see if I can move a little closer to him this time. I've been having him come to me, but I need to be able to approach him in the future, so we can go ahead and start working on this now. To do that, I'm watching for stress signals. He reached out and met me halfway. That's wonderful. And of course, he's got to clean up the scraps off the ground. This guy is extremely calm. He relaxes himself back down to a rest and digest state when he gets a little scared or a little anxious very quickly. So that's a very good quality that told me from the holding pins that this guy would be a good candidate to show you guys the full process of training from scratch without having to work on a whole bunch of anxiety on his part. That was great. He touched me a little bit above his nose that time. It won't be long before I'm able to take off his tag. He's very curious about me. This morning, he even had a little sniff of my face. And if you want, I posted that full-length video with no narration in the full-length playlist for you guys. Notice how his legs are crossed up right now? He feels safe enough. That was great. Good job, buddy. When their legs are crossed up, you know they don't feel the need to possibly escape, so they're feeling a little bit more safe. I'm so eager to get this tag off of his neck. That was great. I touched the bridge of his nose. Now I want to note here that I am not reaching out to him. I'm allowing him to come to me, and whatever he touches me with, I'll reward. And if he wants to go over there and hang out, that's totally fine. I'm not going to do anything to make him come back, but you'll see he'll want to. See? This is the beauty of positive reinforcement training and relational-based training. The first step is to make sure the horse understands that humans are no threat and that we're here to be friends with them and not to harm them in any way. Once they understand that and you've gained their trust, the possibilities for the two of you are endless. I also want to note here that not all Mustangs, especially this untouched, are okay with a human even talking in their vicinity. I have a 15-mile guy that I've had for a year, and he still gets pretty flighty if anyone is talking too rapidly and not giving him bursts of silence so he can calm back down in between. That was also good. I touched above his nostril that time. These Mustangs learn extremely fast, especially when you're using positive methods. They can tend to get a little bit confrontational or flighty or anxious. Sometimes with the traditional methods such as round pinning and join up and all of those pressure and release based methods. But a lot of those problems can be alleviated by simply focusing on the horse first. All my methods are doing is making sure that my horse is comfortable and confident in what they're doing at all points throughout their training. He steps closer to me, so I'm going to reward for that. Once he's fully comfortable with us and we're able to approach and touch him all over, then we'll begin working on installing a treat mode. One of the main complaints that I always hear about positive reinforcement from people who haven't tried it before is that horses you feed treats are pushy and rude. Well, they're only pushy and rude if they have been trained that that's okay. I teach all of my horses treat mode, which means they don't get their reward until they are standing quietly and not pestering me for the reward. Within just a few sessions, they quickly learn that the best answer is to stand quietly and wait for me to bring the reward to them. I love that he's exploring my hand with his face. He's constantly touching different parts of me. Different parts of his face to my hand, which is great. I'm also going to promote him investigating me, as it will just make him feel more comfortable with my presence. How many horses grow up and go through training and don't ever get to just experience a human without being grabbed at or told no or any of those sorts of things? It's very important to me that we don't curb the horse's natural curiosity within the training process. Ultimately, we don't want to break the horse. We want to make them confident in themselves and in us as their partner. And a confident horse who trusts you is going to be a million times better than any horse trained by fear, no matter what. Because there's always going to be something scarier than you. But if they trust you, then when they get scared, they're going to look to you for guidance, and that's the goal. Now, it can be very tempting, even for me, to just reach out and touch him right now, but that would harm the trust that we're building together right now. And so I'm going to be patient, and I'm going to let him tell me when he's ready to be touched. And as I say that, he puts the middle of his face on my hand. This guy is going to be such a gem, aren't you? Now I want to go over a few things, a few signs that are telling me this horse is completely calm and relaxed around me right now. You'll see the level of his head does not go above his withers at any point. If you notice, his beautiful golden eyes remain blinking constantly. His ears are moving around and swiveling, listening to different things. All of these tell me that he's relaxed and comfortable, and he's not in any sort of panicky, anxious, or frightened state. So to end our sessions, I've been lowering my own level to invite him to check me out further. Once again, if you have a pretty anxious or flighty Mustang, if they're not showing you all the signs I just mentioned, saying I'm calm around you, I probably would not squat down like this around them. However, I've spent a lot of time watching this guy, and I know that even if something scares him, he just flinches and goes back to eating 2 seconds later. So my probability of being safe is fairly high, and I'm confident in that. So if you have any doubts, and if you haven't spent time observing how the horse reacts to scary things, I do not advise squatting down near them like this. He touched my hat. Very good. Traditional horsemanship talks a lot about desensitizing your horse to tools. However, it does not go over desensitizing your horse to the main tool you're using, which is yourself and your body. So to me, one of the first steps in gentling one of these Mustangs is letting them know that we're safe. They're safe with us. We're not going to hurt them. We don't have bad intentions. We just want to create a partnership and do fun things together. You'll notice that his head level is even lower now, telling me that he's remaining relaxed even though I changed my position. Oh, perfect. Now, since he's offering to touch his face to my hand, like that, I am going to start shaping for that behavior instead of just his nose touching me. So all 3 of those times I touched him about halfway up his face. This next time I'm going to take a nose touch, build up his confidence a little bit. Every time you introduce something new, it's important to go back a step or back 2 or 3 steps and reaffirm, just so that the horse keeps their confidence about them and doesn't get shaky and uncertain about doing a new thing. So there again. Oh. It's only a matter of time before he bites this hat off my head. Okay. Now, back above the nose. He's really a fast learner. He's going to be a great one to show you guys this method on. I'm going to take about 1 or 2 more face touches and then I'm going to end the session since he's offering me more than we got in our session yesterday or our session this morning. Okay, we'll go for 1 more, and whatever he offers me will be great, and we'll end the session on that note. Great. Now, when you're ending a positive reinforcement session, it's important that you always leave some of your reward behind. This does 2 things. First of all, it sends a signal to the horse that the session is over. And 2, you're okay. If you are giving your horse treats throughout a session and you just stop giving them treats, they can feel like they're being punished because you're not giving them treats. So it's important to leave a stack of whatever you're using to reinforce behavior and use that as your end of session signal. So this is the end for tonight, and I'll see you guys in the next video.